It's no secret that people like memes. I myself enjoy a good meme from time to time, and I recently stumbled across Big Chungus, and I was looking on Know Your Meme, and it's literally just Fat Bugs Bunny. There's no reason for this. It's just, this is Big Chungus. So I've enjoyed this meme for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I was on Instagram the other day. I follow a lot of edgy meme pages. My Instagram's in the description and on the screen at top_frag. You should follow it. And I saw this video, and it got recommended to me this morning on YouTube, so I decided that I was gonna share this with you guys because I think it's worthwhile. In the words of PewDiePie, Chungus review.
I got you a gift. I know it's a little bit early, but it just came in. No, it just came in. I figured I'd give it to you now.
Okay, real quick, if I was given Big Chungus for the PlayStation 4, I would be ecstatic, okay? Before I show you how this kid reacts, I just want to say, like, I would enjoy a copy of Big Chungus for the PS4. I got my PS4 right here. I'm ready for Big Chungus. Bring me Big Chungus. I just broke everything. I actually didn't know this. Apparently, on the feet of the PS4, it's like X's and squares and, like, the controller buttons. That's cool. That's a cool touch, Sony. Thanks.
What's this?
It's Big Chungus.
What is Big Chungus?
Do you like it?
I don't even have a PS4. What is Big Chungus? Is this a joke?
Yes, sir, it is. So today, I thought that I would make myself my very own copy of Big Chungus. I don't know why I want this, but I do, and I kind of want to go as far as to make a printout for the actual disc itself. So I came prepared today. I have this old AOC disc from my computer monitor, and we're going to be repurposing this today to create Big Chungus for the PS4. I also only have one game for the PS4, which is Cowboy Simulator 2018. So I'm going to have to remove the sleeve from this game, and let's get started. First things first, I have to be able to print this out, and I have this Canon printer, but it's kind of where I keep my hamster cage, so like how is this going to work? Sorry, Penny. Sorry. That's your new home now. Fun fact about this printer, it sucks. It's like hardwired into that desk, so I'm gonna have to get a little bit crafty here. After I spent a little bit of time messing around with my printer, making sure that it worked properly on my computer, I ran a test print of my current sub count just so I could make sure that everything was gonna print out okay. I didn't want to get halfway through the project and find out that my printer was out of colored ink. That would have pissed me off. Alright, so now that I know my printer is gonna work, I was thinking I was gonna have to tear it out of the wall and do all this shit with it. It actually just worked, so we're good on that front. I have to take a blank piece of paper, turn it into this beautiful, beautiful title card for Big Chungus. So that's gonna take some Photoshop work. The first thing that I had to do before I could make this game cover is I had to find the correct dimensions for the PlayStation 4 title card. The way I first started doing this was by looking at forums, and somebody told me that 1500 by 500 was a perfect resolution to make this work. So I printed out 2 test papers. The first one that I printed out actually had a very similar fit, except it was like a 1/4 inch too long. Because these were just my initial test prints, I mirrored the images and printed it out just to have something on the canvas to see if it would properly wrap around the PlayStation case. As I said, the first print almost fit perfectly, except it was too long at the bottom. So the second print I resized and tried to get to fit all in one page, but that was just far too small. I didn't even cut it out. After 3 or 4 rounds of trial and error, I decided to take a more hands-on approach, and what I ended up doing was finding a Red Dead Redemption cover sample on Google, and I printed it out full size onto a piece of paper. However, it was slightly off even still, so I just decided to take the actual Red Dead Redemption card and put it together with the piece of paper and measure the difference, and then just replicate that in Photoshop. So I'm sure some of you guys are sitting there scratching your head wondering why I did this, because I'm sure there's some fancy other way that I could have gone about it, but this was the quickest way that I could think of, and honestly, it really isn't that inefficient. It probably took me 5 extra minutes. What I did was I opened an 8.5 by 11 inch canvas on Photoshop, and then I made it the same size on my screen as a real piece of paper would be in my hands, and then I taped it to my monitor taped the game cover over it, and then used the backlight from my computer to trace the outline of the real game cover to get an accurate dimension measurement. Once again, probably way more complicated than it needed to be, but it worked, so I ain't even worried about it. I'd say the hardest part so far was getting the tape off the sleeve without ripping it, but I think I did a pretty good job, so we're good. The next thing that I did was separate the 3 parts of the cover sleeve. That's the left side, the right side, and the spine in the middle. And then I printed out a black and white version as to not use up all my colored ink. I fit it into the case, and it fit much better than the first draft, and I was happy enough to push forward into the Photoshop work. The Photoshop work that I did was more tedious than it was hard. Basically, I had most of the assets that I needed, and the front of the case was already done. All I really had to do was focus on the back, so I grabbed a Killzone case sample, which unfortunately had a watermark on it, but I removed that in a minute. And I just used the bottom tags from that game case, because I thought it was slightly more than a standard back. It has different shapes in it, and I just thought it flowed better than the standard rectangular warning label area. So I swapped out some of the branding and changed the name in the fine print to Big Chungus the game, because why not put a few little Easter eggs in here? There's actually quite a few little nods towards things that I put in here. I'll have a high-res screenshot in the description if you guys want to actually look at this back. But I added some pictures and decided to make it a choose-your-own-adventure kind of game, because that's just how it be sometimes, man. I pasted in the FitnessGram Pacer test and then adjusted some more of the panels, added a title card in the back, and then did some final touching up. Now I wanted to use that little blank space in the bottom, so I decided to put the reviews there, and I honestly think that it was one of the better decisions that I've made in the whole back. I added a little bit of a gradient, added the PS4 logo to the spine, a bigger logo, the Mojang logo, and that was it. Overall, this Photoshop job took me like 2 hours, I think, just because I was really deep in thought about what I wanted to do. And by this point, I was getting kind of burnt out with the project. It was still funny to me, but the amount of time that I had put into it was starting to get a little bit ridiculous. So I decided to do a quick job on the disc. So basically what you're seeing here is me first creating the template for the disc, and then I just take a picture of Big Chungus, put the title card on, the adults only rating, and then some other fine print stuff. On the final print of the disc itself, everything that I put in fine print, including the angular border on the top, is very barely legible. It's really faded, so I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to that if I decide to reprint this in the future. But all in all, the overall design doesn't look super bad unless you're really up close. Okay, so this next part uses chemical glue, so if you guys have allergies or if you don't want to inhale glue, you might want to put on a gas mask right now, but let's do it. So I'm outside at the gluing station. It's a little loud because I couldn't find my shotgun mic, but I'm gonna try this. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. We're gonna find out. But either way, the case was a major success, so even if this is pretty shitty, I'm not really bothered by it. I did have some issues with the gluing process, and I think moving forward, if I'm gonna do this again, I need to just spray the disc that I'm using and not the piece of paper, because when I finished it, it left a bunch of weird bumps, and it just didn't look too good. But overall, from a distance, it looks really nice. It's gonna be a big sticky mess, but let's do it. No, I put it on crooked, no. Big Chungus. Okay, so my entire room is absolutely trashed from Big Chungus, but it was worth it. The game honestly came out better than I could have hoped it would. The case itself is just beautiful. It's so nicely made, and I'm so happy with it. The disc itself, if you get really up close to it, it has like bumps on it from dust. I'll probably end up reprinting this. Since the Red Dead case is a 2-disc case, I'm gonna make a bonus disc as well. Bonus disc. As well as the disc, it also comes with a map of Albania. I don't know why, that's just what was included in the case. So that's a thing. I guess that's gonna be it for this video. I know that this is not anything like what I normally upload, but it was something funny that I had the idea to do, so I figured I wanted to just send it and see what happened. The only way I'm gonna do a follow-up to this is if this video like blows up. So let's say like 25,000 likes. Yeah, 25,000 likes, and I will record myself trying to return this game to GameStop and just seeing what happens. So that's probably not gonna happen, but I'm not worried about it because I don't want to do that anyway. We out here, we got Big Chungus for the PS4 now. I can play this with all my friends on New Year's. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are too. I hope you had a good time watching this video, and thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with me. It really does mean a lot. I'm gonna go eat some mac and cheese. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.